This past weekend was the second and final weekend of the Modern Warfare multiplayer beta. Being an Xbox player, unfortunately, this weekend was my one and only chance to be able to play any of the beta. Though I may have not been able to play the beta for as many hours as I would have liked to, I still was able to game enough to become very familiar with how it plays currently and how the final game may play out when it releases in October. Of course, I was also able to form a well-thought opinion on all aspects of the beta within the brief timeline, and that opinion is what I'm going to be covering in today's video. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is a fresh reboot of one of the most loved portions of the Call of Duty franchise. The original trilogy spawned 3 genre-breaking games that spawned a massive fandom and a community for the franchise with how different COD was from other FPSs out at the time. Fast-paced, chaotic multiplayer with smooth visuals and awesome gunplay were all factors that made the original trilogy great among many other things. Based upon the Modern Warfare beta, the game will definitely be a nice addition to the franchise and may do its job by winning back the hearts of players who had put COD on the back burner in recent years due to their futuristic advanced movement-focused titles, such as Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, just to name a few. While both World War II and Black Ops 4 were also games that brought back the roots of boots on the ground combat, Modern Warfare takes us back to the era that really made players fall in love with the game in the first place. The fact that it's a modern era shooter compared to being futuristic or World War II oriented, bringing that sense of more realism back to the players. Finally diving to the gameplay, Modern Warfare does well in many aspects and a bit poorly in others. However, the parts of the game that are less enjoyable aren't 100% on the dev. In my first game, I could not deny that the game looked attractive. While it's not anywhere near the juicy color palettes we all know and love from Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2 through Black Ops 4, the game is a lot less grayscale as compared to games like Call of Duty Ghosts and Modern Warfare 3 that had very low saturation graphics. Though graphically the game is appealing, I had to disable a couple of graphical enhancements such as motion blur as it turned my gunfights and shots into an absolute warp fest. Of course, this could be just due to the fact that the game is in a beta state, or because I have the original Xbox One, and it's probably outdated by now. Nonetheless, after it came off, the game looked and ran smoothly for the entire duration of the beta. Feel-wise, the game feels good. Movement is fluid, and the ability to slide is back, though it's not at an extreme. When it comes to gunfights, things can get a bit trickier. The weapons in this game are hit and miss when it comes to lasering people. Initially, I found all weapons in the game to have much more intense kickback and screen shake and tilt as compared to older CODs where you seem to be able to laser just about anybody. Despite this, I still found myself being lasered across maps by dads with their M4s patriotically prepared to dick me down on many occasions. Regardless though, the gunfights do feel nice and the TTK feels near that of Ghosts or Advanced Warfare as long as hit detection doesn't fuck you over.
Hold up.
Weapon selection is wide too, and the attachment selection is awesome, allowing you to put up to 5 attachments on any weapon, even if you have the overkill perk on. On your secondary, primary, you can also put 5 attachments on. There's a generous amount of perks in the game as well, with only a few specific ones being the most essential if the game state doesn't change drastically when the final game releases. I'll be going over those in depth in another video. There are also plenty of lethals and tacticals to use, as well as kill streaks, which are yet again shifted to only being rewarded for going on an actual kill streak, and they're no longer linked to score or points like in recent years. We're also introduced to the field upgrade system, which is a system meant to replace ultimates seen with specialists and operators in Black Ops 3, 4, and Infinite Warfare. Field upgrades act as equipment and some emulate perks that were in the old MW games, such as Stopping Power and Dead Silence. So far, the game looks great, but this is where things take a turn for some disappointment. Going back to the first weekend of the beta, there was a lot of rave regarding the minimap being absent from the game completely. This prompted a massive change in how the average COD player plays, and ended up really hurting the experience depending on your personal playstyle. I do want to go ahead and mention that for the second week of the beta, the minimap was present again, but it still had one of its key functions absent from the game. Said function was enemies appearing on the minimap whenever they fire their gun without a suppressor on it. Without the ability to know where your opponents are shooting from, the flow of the game shifted completely from what the original Modern Warfare franchise was originally known for. Rather than the intense fast-paced action we got back then, players were forced to deal with other players who shifted into extremely passive and defensive playstyle. Also, another big change is Modern Warfare's map structures are not the traditional 3-lane maps that we're so used to seeing in every Call of Duty. Rather than that, we have bigger maps with many more buildings with countless windows, alleys, doors, crevices, and many places that players can shoot you from. With the maps being so untraditional and the lack of the original minimap's key function being absent from the game, influencing the casual player to camp and set claymores and shoot down from windows all game, this led to a sufferable experience to me, as I prefer playing more aggressively if I can. Aside from this major issue with a simple fix, I found the rest of the game to be fairly enjoyable, especially when playing against players who do not sit in corners and crevices holding their scrotums the entire game. A few new game modes were introduced with the beta, all of which I found to be pretty damn cool. Gunfight, a competitive 2v2 game mode in which two teams of two square off in a small map similar to World War II's 1v1 arena, fight for possession of weapons and try to eliminate each other, was one of said new modes. With an actual duo to run with, the game can offer a lot of fun. However, playing it solo can be a bit miserable, as I myself was only able to get solo games in since I had no one else to run with at the time. And of course, having team coordination and a good teammate in general is really important for this game. Ground War has also been revamped to an extreme level. Introduced later on in the second weekend of the beta, Ground War is now fully comparable to Battlefield and features 32 versus 32 combat on a massive map with vehicles and streaks available. It has also been made clear that Modern Warfare will be able to handle 100 players in a single match, which is leading to speculation that a Battle Royale mode may be coming to the game at some point in its lifespan. Domination and TDM, two key game modes featured in every Call of Duty since COD 4, return with new variants introduced that support 20-player lobbies for 10v10 combat, which has 2 more players total than what was originally possible in previous games' Ground War playlists. Search and Destroy was also revamped a bit, and now it's called Cyber Attack. Rather than being an elimination mode where 2 teams take turns trying to plant a bomb at 1 of 2 bomb sites, objective is now a 1 bomb mode like what was present in some of the Halo games, like 1 bomb. The goal in this game mode is to either take hold of an EMP bomb and plant and detonate it at the opposing team's EMP site, or eliminate the enemy team. The mode is non-respawn, however, teammates who are dead can be revived by living players an unlimited amount of time, similarly to the search and rescue game mode in Call of Duty Ghosts, minus the dog tags and the instant revivability. A couple of other alternate game modes were featured on the days of the beta for a limited time. These include Realism, which featured a stripped down HUD, just as was seen in the hardcore game modes of previous games, as well as a night vision game mode which featured night versions of the available maps and the ability to use night vision in them, along with laser pointers featured on all weapons while in night vision mode. Overall, the beta was quite satisfying to play. As soon as it was gone, I missed it greatly. It's nice getting to play a modern era COD again, despite there being issues I hope can be eliminated following changes to the final game. I'm sure many other players, including myself, hope that the minimap can function like normal again in the final release so multiplayer isn't an absolute shitfest of slow-paced garbage, and hopefully there will be plenty of maps to play that aren't too large or filled with too many buildings and whatnot to reinforce campy behavior among certain players. Overall, I'd rate this beta an 8 out of 10. Let's see what the final game brings to the table. That pretty much does it for this review/opinion video on the MW Beta. I'll be releasing tons of more content relating to the game and reviewing other aspects of the game aside from service stuff that I went over in this video. This will include weapon reviews, talks about perks and classes to run, adjustments you may need to make in playstyle, and how I feel about sniping in this game so far, and much more. So until next time, take care and stay tuned. Be sure to drop a sub if you're new. If you want to see more Modern Warfare content, among other things, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and please feel free to let me know how you felt about the beta in the comment section of this video. I'd love to talk to any of you who watch this video, and I would like for you guys to share your opinions as well, and have some cool discussions. Everyone, have a good one.